We're live.
It's pretty cool.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It'll take a little bit for everybody to get get up in here and shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Wait a minute. This is.
Let me do this.
Hang on. We're actually not live because I've got this set to private. So watch this.
Oh,
Here. Let me go to public. Save changes. All right. Now we should be live. Like I've never done this before. See if it. All right. Yep, we're live. It's got
that's
one
cool.
watching, says it, which is probably just me. Let's see if anybody joins in for a minute. Give it a second.
Yeah.
Because people who, two watching. There's two people watching now.
That's cool.
Let's see if anybody joins in, says hello in the chat. But I do got some haters out there, bro. And they
Oh
watch just,
yeah.
well, what they do is they watch to see what I say. And if someone that they don't like, I mean, if it's someone I don't like, and if I say anything about them, they'll run over to them and tell them. I mean, that's the kind of shit you'll get in
Yeah.
in this.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have trolls out there. Period.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
See, I ain't got anybody saying anything in chat, man, and but
See, I don't even see the chat thing.
there's 7 people watching now,
Wow, that's cool. Hi, y'all.
and they ain't nobody saying nothing yet. So it's probably some of the haters. I've got a lot more than 8 haters. There's 8, 9 now.
Yeah.
So there's Ronnie Braun. What's up? What's up? What's up? I can watch this. If I can get the damn thing to pull up, so I can when on this StreamYard, see I can go over here and click and see that. That's
Hmm.
that's part of the chat. Um, it's hard to stream from your phone, but anyway. So no, we was just hanging out, man, for the lurkers and all that. You know, we keep it real over here, and we're just talking shit backstage. Me and my buddy here. It's my buddy Bam Bam. We've been fishing for some years now. The bass boat I used to have, actually, I bought from his brother. That's how I met him, and we started fishing tournaments together and become really good friends. Um, you know, we just anyway. So we were just sitting backstage talking about some good stuff. What's up, Yankee Watchdog? What's up? It's not pop. There it goes. Finally popped up over here. My buddy Yankee Watchdog, man. He's been around a minute.
What's up, Yankee?
And so anyway, we were sitting backstage and we were talking about the government shit and how they like I said, you can turn your camera off if you get nervous. I
I
make
ain't
people
nervous.
I make people nervous online sometimes, man, because I I tell it like it is, man, and so um it gets down to a point to where these people are I mean they're trying to control us, man, and it really pisses me off, man, because we actually have the authority. We're the power, and they have convinced so many people that we're not the power. You know what I'm saying? And they try to do these things, man, and it's like what the hell, man? I
Well, I
mean,
mean, people. with all of the propaganda and stuff that goes on today in this day and age, it's the people that's supposed to control the government, not the other way around. And a lot of people's lost track of that. Your older generation definitely knows that, but your younger generation, they just believe what they're told. But
Right. Well,
so
yeah, it just gets down to the fact that you know we got to be prepared for all kinds of things to come, man. The digital currency is coming. I mean, it doesn't matter
yeah,
what we think. The digital currency is coming, and you know, we got into a discussion about the electric vehicles and stuff backstage, and
hmm
it's the sad reality of it is that, hey, Sherry Leach, how you doing? And so the sad reality of this electric vehicle shit is that, man, it's great for somebody that lives in town, man. She's saying, hey, Bam Bam.
uh,
Sherry, this is one of my brothers. I mean, like, from home here. He's yeah, he's one of he's my brother, man. So yeah, the so we were talking about the electric cars and shit, and I mean, honestly, man, it. I don't really think it's a bad idea. I really don't. Um, if I did not have my mowing business, and I was just cutting my grass once a week or once every couple of weeks, depending on weather, shit, I would have a battery powered weed eater. I mean, why not? They've got
yeah,
them. They're pretty stout little weed eaters these days. You know what I mean?
yeah, they are.
And but how can you? How they do not, the technology, it just does not exist yet for us to not be using gas powered vehicles. When we're out in the country like we are, man. I mean, there's no way a battery powered vehicle would pull these mountains with me pulling all this equipment and shit. You know, it'll do it for a couple of hours, but shit, man. I mean, start working 6, 8, 9 hours a day, depending on the time of year. Um, you know,
Yeah,
Sherry Leach is saying, "Nice to meet you, Bam Bam."
nice to meet you too.
Arm powered weed eater. Yeah,
I've used them before.
yeah, yeah. But the whole thing is that, do you foresee a civil war happening? What's your opinion on civil war at this time?
I think it will happen. I think that's what it's going to take in order to basically get a reboot of the government.
Hmm.
I honestly believe that. Um, I believe the economy's probably will collapse at some point.
Hmm.
Uh, but we just need to revamp the whole system. We need to get a lot of people out because you got some politicians that's been in there for years,
Yep.
you know, and I think there needs to be a time limit, just like there is on the presidency. You know what I mean?
Yep.
See, back whenever Roosevelt was in, uh, he served for 16 years. And then they actually did change the law on that back in the 40s. Of course, he died, obviously during World War II.
Right.
But honestly, I really believe that there will be another civil war, and I think that the government wants that. But the way I see it is with all of the old veterans and stuff like that. Uh, I don't know about most people, but my dad was a Green Beret, as you well know,
Hmm.
and he taught me tactics growing up and stuff, how to survive, you know, and things like that. I mean, but if people are teaching their kids them same kind of tactics, how to be tactical, teaching them about weapons, teaching them what plants you can eat, things like that, how to make your own filtration systems, you know what I mean? And
Right.
the one thing that a lot of people forget about, especially prepping, is like salt. You cannot live without salt.
Right.
And but uh, if they teach people like that and they have common sense, you're likely to be okay for a while.
Right.
And they do say there is strength in numbers. That proved whenever the White House was hit,
Right.
or the
Hold on.
government building there in D.C.
Kelly Ray, what's happening, my sister? How are you? That's my sister right there, Kelly Ray. She's cool, man. Yeah.
Hi,
I
Miss
like
Kelly.
I like Kelly Ray and Maurice, man. They're just great people, man. Great people. Anyway, go ahead, man. So Civil War and food and water and
Yeah.
um, yeah. Come on, tell us what you think, brother.
Well, I think that that people needs to learn what plants to eat, what not to eat,
Right,
medicinal purposes from plants and things like that. You can be self-reliant, you know what I'm saying? But it's man, there's my mind is overly working right now. But what I'm trying to say is that yes, there definitely will be probably another civil war. I mean, I think about things tactically and learning how to fish and hunt. That's a must.
mm,
You know the old saying: you can give somebody a fish and feed them for a day, but you teach them how to hunt or fish, you feed them for life.
right. Well, it's just really crazy that so much of this stuff is so fucking blatant in your face, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
of what they're trying to do and the corruption and dirty, I mean, dirty cops, man. I mean, dirty
Oh yeah.
politicians, dirty fucking FBI's and ATFs, and these people trying to fool you and trick you into shit, man. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Um, I'm just over here trying to cut a little grass and be able to go fishing on fucking Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Or of an evening. I'm
Hmm.
just trying to make a fucking knife handle over here, man. Just to have a hobby. I don't go out into public, man. I'm not harming nobody, but yet I'm the fucking terrorist. It's like, you really want to go there? You really want to force me to be a fucking terrorist? I mean, because y'all are the fucking terrorists,
Yeah.
these fucking liberals and shit, man. Fuck them, man, with their
Yeah.
bullshit. What is the first
Well.
thing that they fucking locked? Think about this. What is the first thing that the fucking liberals did? They locked down during the COVID shit. They locked down the fucking garden aisle, man. They didn't want you to go outside. They wanted you to wear a mask when you were walking down the sidewalk by your fucking self, man. Fuck these
Mm,
people, man. People need to wake up and understand this. Go
well,
ahead, bro.
they're just well. See, back in 2017, there was an article that had come out talking about some kind of virus or whatever. That was in 2017, and then
Right,
look what happened. And then them coming up with statistics and all of this stuff on the first statistic that they had came out with for supposedly that COVID shot was saying that, oh yeah, man, this here's working and blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden another statistic was done on it, research, and then showed that what they had posted was all false.
right. And this is
So,
all in the media, man. I mean, it's all that
mhm,
they, yeah, it's all. I mean, this is not a conspiracy theory. We're not. spouting off shit that's not in the media, the mainstream media. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the one thing that I loved about Trump was that he told it how it was. He was
Right.
very blunt. Him talking about ABC. The all bullshit channel. Which is
Right.
basically what it is.
Right.
And he refused to talk to some of the news media people. Because no matter what he said, they're going to twist his words and all this stuff and make them,
Right.
make people think that's propaganda. That's all that it is. And they get a lot of views and, running ads and the commercials and crap. It's just ridiculous, man. I
What
mean,
what would be something that if you could give any piece of advice to prepare for what you see coming, what would be the one thing that you would say to prepare?
stockpile, ammo, food, have drops on
Right,
your way
right,
to your
right,
point.
right, right. That's and that's a really broad statement, with stockpile, because yeah, obviously, there's a lot of people out there, brother, that are starting to get into prepping. They're starting to come to these channels and checks, listen to what's going on because they're like, shit, when the toilet paper wars happened in 2020, I mean, shit, I mean, seriously, people were fighting over fucking toilet paper, man. Just
See,
something.
that's what I love about living on a ridge, and not only being close to a water source, but I've got caves behind my house, even,
Right.
and stuff like that. But I've got all kinds of game, things like that.
Hmm.
And so, like, if you're going to pick out a point, I'm just saying for some people that will
Hmm.
but bug out and stuff, just use your head. Use your
So,
head.
so you remember what it hell is 3 or 4 years ago, probably at least, maybe longer than that. We remember when we were discussing about what hell it might have been 5 or 6 years. Remember when we were discussing about bugging out or bugging in? And you were
Right.
talking about the bug out, and I was like, "No, you man, here's why." And we were going back and forth. What has your idea, because you were in favor of bugging out, going out into the wilderness at that time? So has your mind changed, and if so, why? And if
I will
not,
set. I will stay put for a while
hmm,
until other things happen because my family safety is priority one,
right,
and then I've got another location,
right,
and I'm just going to say this: everybody needs to have a plan B. Everybody needs to have a plan B.
right,
Run drills in your house, firearms drills in your house.
right,
Run firearms drills outside, even if you're just using a stick of wood, because it's a crazy person. They're gonna think you're crazy if you have a weapon and you're aiming it and all this stuff. Pick up a stick, use it like you would a gun. You know what I'm saying? Go to the
right,
gun range, practice different position shooting, get your heart rate up. You know, send rounds down range, and practice, practice, practice. They even make laser deals with pop caps, to where
right.
you can practice your accuracy even, you know. Invest a little bit of money and then prepare yourself and train, train, train.
Right. Yeah, and
And
see, See, one of the things that I say at the end of a whole lot of my videos is when you prepare your mind properly, things will fall into place. You know,
Yep.
and that has to do with multiple things. You know, there, um, some of that when I kind of come up with that phrase, some of it had to do with the Bible.
Hmm.
Some of it had to do with prepping. Some of it had to do with skills. Some of it, you know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think it allows for a wide range of when you prepare your mind properly, things will fall into place, and that's, you know, training with your firearm. You know, making sure that you got enough food and you practice stuff and you know you get this number 10 can of sausage, you know, and you actually open one up and fucking eat the shit, you know.
Yeah.
You know, make sure the food that you're buying is what you want, you know, to eat, what you normally eat. You know, just don't go out
Right.
and buy shit, you know. And it's all about prepping your mind, you know, to where you're, you know, things fall into place when you prepare yourself for it, you
Yep.
know. You know, a spare tire, how many people out there honestly have a spare tire on their vehicle and don't know how to change a flat? That's not,
Yeah.
you know,
You're right. You are
carrying the
right.
yeah, carrying the spare tire is a form of prepping, you know. At least you got a damn spare tire,
Right.
um but if you can't change it, you know, then you got to rely on strangers, you know, or rely on a phone call to a wrecker service or, you know, a police
Yeah.
officer.
AAA or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you've got to wait by yourself all that time. So if you
Right.
knew how to change a tire, man, you could jump out, you know, change your tire and get your ass going back on the road so you're not sitting on the side of the road, man, because when you're on, especially in today's age, man, when you're sitting on the side of the road, you're a target,
Hmm.
man. You're a
Yep.
fucking target.
That's
And
why I
people need to
carry
understand.
every day.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
why I carry.
Well, you're an Arkansas boy, man. You can carry all you know. We can carry down here. It's like
Yeah.
people don't even say nothing about it or nothing. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like no big deal.
Well, I
But
mean, people nowadays, I mean, you always read or hear about stories where, you know, a young girl's abducted and all this stuff, you know, and you know, the whole human trafficking thing, you know,
right,
that worries me. My wife, I don't worry about so much because one, you know, she's trained with pistol and she shoots really well, and
and she
she
and,
carries every day.
and she don't mind to climb you like a ladder and kick every rung out on the way down, boy. She,
You
yeah,
sure right about that.
I,
She's
I
tough
know
as a
you're right.
pine knot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's one thing, you know. I mean, but you know, I've worked with Modus Boy a lot, and you know, I know how to work on guns and stuff, but he's gotten better than me, and
Right.
I'm telling you, it's so impressive at like to see a young man like him and grow into the person that he has. I'm a proud dad, man. I'll tell you right now because he listens really well and he trains. He's running drills at his house for in his house, and he lives in Little Rock. So that's, you know, and you know how bad that is up there.
Man, Little Rock is always hits about the top 10, usually up in the top 5 of most dangerous cities. You
Yeah,
still there?
it's crazy. Oh yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, at how people people will approach you, try to sell you drugs, which I have happened to me in Little Rock. Um, I had a guy like try to step up on me one time, and I, put a palm against his chest and pushed him back. And obviously, I was armed because I don't leave my house without it. That's my EDC.
Right.
And but I mean, people are just so ballsy nowadays that I mean, yeah, a lot of them, there's so many meth heads running around.
Well, you want to you want to know why people are so ballsy today? Like honestly, because of the internets, and they get so used to being on these social media platforms, and you can say whatever you want. You can fucking
Sure,
act like you want. You can, and you ain't got to worry about it. Well, that starts to spill over into your real life, and
sure it does.
people on the internet, they don't get hey Demeter, how's it going? Demeter Solis is in here. How you doing? Um so basically it spills over into their real life, and then they get out here and they think, well, I can just fucking mouth off to somebody, and then they meet some motherfucker like you, or like Hutch or Prepper Tribe, or and they mouth off, and they're subject to get that ass whooped, you know
Right.
and when you do whoop that ass, it freaks them out. They don't understand. They're like, what the fuck? I mean, we were just yelling at each other, and it's like, yeah, but you can't talk to me that way. That's what you don't understand, you know. And that's why I beat that ass, So
That's so funny. That's so
see, Kelly Ray
funny.
talking about it's a war zone here. They live up in Chicago's, right,
Oh,
yeah, Chicago, yeah, and it's a war zone here. 20 people dead since Friday. 20
yep.
fucking people killed, man. And
See,
it's
that's what happens when you disable or excuse me, disarm your populace. And
well
Chicago
that,
is one of them.
but it goes deeper. Milwaukee, I'm sorry, yeah,
Oh,
Milwaukee. I'm
Wisconsin?
sorry,
Yeah, it
yeah,
gets pretty
sorry,
bad up there.
Milwaukee. Yeah, is
St. Paul and Minneapolis is two other bad places too, and they're neighboring states to them.
well. See, here's the deal. All right, so when it really gets down to it, man, it goes past gun violence. Obviously, it's not gun
Hmm.
violence, man. It's the fact that these politicians have stripped people of their rights. They have convinced them
Yep.
to give them away, man. They have convinced a lot of these populaces, man, to think that, and then they start to defund the police type shit. You get these
Yeah.
you get these liberal ass fucking people in authority, and they start going, well, let's let that guy out over there. And it's like, well, wait a minute, he murdered somebody, you know.
Right.
Yeah, well, just let him out. We COVID's happening, whatever. And you start to get these people, and then these people are back on the streets, and they get emboldened because there's no consequences. There has to be
Right.
consequences for every
Yep.
single action that you do. And when there is consequences for every single action that you do, and I'm talking good or bad, when you do good, you get good consequences. When you do bad, you get bad consequences, and that should be promoted in this country, to
Hmm.
where people are like, hey, if I go over there and try to steal that, or smash that guy in the face, from sneaking up behind him, whatever that shit they call that sucker punch shit that they do,
Yeah.
you know, and you not only do you go to jail, but you're probably getting your ass kicked too, and then you go to jail for a long time, and then you got to pay damages because you don't get to collect a fucking paycheck. We're
Right.
around you, you know, when there's consequences, man. Things will turn the tide. I'm telling you, but Until then, man, that's why you go to hey, Bigfoot Silver Hide and Seeker. How are you, man? And
Cool.
huh? Yeah, hey, Bigfoot Silver Hide and Seeker. And so that's the thing, is that's why it's a proven fact that they just don't want to admit. When you go to a conservative area such as ours, there's still crime. Everybody knows that. It's still crime, but you start to see where you start to see where basically um, the crime is not so blatant.
Mhm.
People, dude, I'm telling you, people. I ain't saying I can't get stolen from tonight, but I'm saying
Right.
people don't fuck around in my neighborhood, man. They don't fuck around, dude. I don't fuck around. You know, I mean, I, I'm that crazy fucking neighbor, man. I'm just telling you, and Bam Bam, you know this, man. Um, like, dude, I walk outside with my body armor on and my AR-15 strap around my chest, and just walk around the yard,
Mhm.
make a hole, and walk around and shit. And the neighbors see this, man. I'm telling you, people do not fuck around here, man. And this is, I, I, I'm not threatening nobody. I don't. I hope like hell. I mean, that's why I do it, is so people don't fuck around, so I don't have to get caught up in something, man. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you're just displaying your constitutional right, the
Right,
right to bear arms
right,
or arm bearers, whatever.
right. But that's, and that's the thing, man, is that, you know, shit is coming down the line, man. It's
Hmm.
coming. You know, people need to accept that it's coming, because people will not get up off their ass and do something about it. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Well, as well as I do. I mean, our little neck of the woods. I mean, you're going to have some petty crime. It's the meth heads that's stealing from you,
Hmm.
but for the most part, there's a lot of good people. Just a lot of good people. But it's all the people causing the problems is always the same people.
Yeah.
I come from a law enforcement family, been in it myself, as you well know. But it's always the same people, and they wear the court system out.
Hmm.
And as long as your city and county and state is making money off of them, they're going to keep letting them out
Right.
because it's all about the power of the dollar,
Right.
you know.
Well, it's really funny because, see, for those of y'all out there that don't live in a area such as ours, um, let me just explain something. We do deal with some petty crime. We deal with some meth heads. I
Mhm.
mean, some of them get stupid and shit. There. I mean, don't get me wrong. Little Rock, not too far from either one of us, man.
Mhm.
That's man. This late at night, man, you better not find your ass out there unless you're ready to get down. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. That's a
I
fact.
mean, that's a fact. But the places like where we are, for instance, man, we if we catch a meth head, or catch somebody fucking up and trying to steal our shit, um, guess what we do? We whoop that ass, and we don't call the police until we're done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's we take care of the situation. We teach a lesson before we call the police. You know, and then the police come and they take them away, and that person, knows, hey man, if I go to
Don't
this
go
person's
there.
house and I get caught, and I'm gonna get my ass whooped, and I'm gonna go to jail.
Yes.
So they don't fuck around with a lot of these areas. The stupidity is low.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Um. Oh Lord, here's So Bam Bam, hello. Then you should know. Let the Lord judge the criminals.
That's true, but you get the satisfaction out of it for a little bit.
Right. And you teach a lesson.
Yeah.
Here's Rip Curl, man. My buddy Rip Curl. I don't think Rip Curl likes me so much, man, because I'm mean, and he's up there in Oregon, and he's one of them sensitive liberals that can't shoot a gun. He hates guns. Um, and I'm lying about everything, man. Rip Curl, man, he'll fuck you up, dude. Um, that may not be, but he does try to bring peace to everything, man. I mean, he's always preaching about peace, man, and I respect him
Hmm.
for that, man, because he is right, man. I would love to do all this peaceful, man. I really would. Sit down at
Oh
the
yeah,
table like
absolutely.
gentlemen, and, sit down at the table like gentlemen and gentlewomen, however you say it, um, and you know what I'm saying, and have a conversation and lay down some rules and shit. That may be that may be so until things get very real and desperate. That's when the normally good could turn into the desperately dangerous. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And
Well, people like in stressful situations like hunger, things like that, people who would never steal or anything will take desperate measures in order to get food for their families or what have you.
right,
And then during those times, that parent or whatever, well, if they come into our neck of the woods, I know they won't be going home.
right,
So, I mean, I'm just saying point blank, people do desperate things in desperate times. That is true. That's very true.
so I'm gonna get real controversial, man, because I like to be controversial, man. I just do. I tell it like it is, man. And here's the thing, bro. So let's say, all right, let me just start like this. There's a thing that goes on YouTube, and it's called werewolf preppers. And so what a werewolf prepper is someone that just sits around and watches everybody prep, and then goes after them if shit hits the fan. They don't spend their money on it. They just wait, and if shit hits the fan, they go around and take what they need, right?
Hmm.
Okay, that's pretty fucking wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Well,
that's
they'll they do it at night. They'll be found in the morning. This way it is.
exactly exactly. So real true. What werewolf preppers really is going to get what's coming to them. But now let me ask you. Here's where the controversy starts. Okay, because I've said this online many times, and I've been honest about this. Let's say that you've been prepping properly. You know what I'm saying? You've been doing what you
Hmm.
do. You got it, plenty of food storage, yada yada. Well, let's say that you get overrun. Something happens and shit hits the fan. You get fucking overrun, and now you, your wife, your kids, whoever may else be in your little, that you have prepared to for. Now you're all starving. You've been overrun. All game plan. I don't care what kind of game plan you think you got. I don't care what kind of compound you think you have bought or built. You have the possibility of being overrun, right or wrong.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So would you, from there, allow your wife and your children? to starve to death, or would you do what was necessary, even if it was violence, to make sure that y'all got food?
You know, that really depends on different circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because I know how to fish and hunt,
Right.
and so I know I could feed them that way, unless it's the summer months. Then you don't want to eat red meat because you get a belly full of worms. But it's the whole thing of, if my wife and my kids are about to die, then yeah, I would probably resort to some kind of violence. I
Okay.
probably would, and that's just being honest.
Right.
Because like I said, desperate times you do desperate deeds.
Well, this is
But
real talk, man.
yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, as far as, like, let's say somebody's got a gun and I want that gun. Would I, try to take it from them? No, because they need protection too. Long as
Right.
they don't come and mess with me, or you know, in my perimeter, they're fine.
Right.
They're fine. I don't have a problem with them. But
Right.
if they try messing with my stuff, if it means me losing my life to protect my family and protect what I own, I'm gonna take some people with me. It's just simple as that.
Right. Well, see, and that's real talk, man. That's what you know. So I've got some people that I do a lot of live streams with. Hutch Tribe, Just Josh, Native, POTB, and we've got a few others that hang around, and Rip Curl, and a bunch of these people. But I've got a few that I naturally hang around with, and we 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 try to be as real as possible. You know what I'm saying? We don't do
Mhm.
anything fake, man. I mean, we tell the truth. I mean, um, I'm about to. So I've been kind of showing everybody, or showing on some of the live streams and stuff, these knives and stuff that these handles I'm working on. I So I'm about to show everybody, because I want to be real about this. I fucked up the knife handles, man. I fucked up, man. It still looks fine. It'll work. It's mine. So, but I know what I did wrong. I sit there and looked at it and remembered exactly what all I did, but I'm gonna show that to I'm gonna show that to people. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Mhm.
show them I'm
Yeah.
real, man. I make mistakes, man, just like anybody else. Be real with yourself, and be real with
Right.
with the
Yeah.
people that
I I tell you now, I'm sure not perfect. You don't believe me? You just ask my wife.
right, right,
She says sometimes I'm part, retarded, but I expect that.
right.
But being self-reliant, having knowledge, because knowledge is definitely power.
Right.
It's like, get books, like I said, study plants, study, you know, wildlife behaviors, um, learn your region, learn your region,
Excellent point.
and don't try to carry everything, including the kitchen sink and the deep freezer.
Right.
Pack light, because you can move faster. And that's what I said earlier about having drop points to where you can resupply on your way, because you're not going to be able to probably drive there to
Right.
wherever you're going to go or what have you, because like I said before, always have a plan B. And learn medical procedures, as far as like first aid, buy you a military surgical kit that's got hemostat, scalpel, things like that. And you can buy a ham from the store and practice on it, just take a knife and cut it and then try to stitch it up and all this. And, you know, You got veins inside of there. Use the hemostats and try to like clamp shut, and then practice stitching a vein or something. Because I promise you. And then plus learn how to use tourniquets.
Yep. Yeah, and we talk about a lot of this stuff online, and you know, everybody, I want everybody to understand that, you know, he don't hang out on YouTube and stuff. He, you know, he's watched a couple of my videos and stuff, and he watches some YouTube videos probably of other stuff. But I just wanted everybody to know that, you know, we talk about this stuff a lot, and this is, I'm trying to prove something here, that here is another man that y'all didn't even know about, that he believes exactly the way we do. He knows, he understands, you know. This is just proof positive of how many people are really out there, guys. Don't think we're just a few. We are many. We are so many. It is insane, and yet we can't come together, you know. And this is the stuff is for y'all fucking people out there that are fake, and for you fuckers out there that all y'all want to do is start shit, you know. In this little prepping community that we're all kind of hanging around with, you know, we were going along for a long time with no bullshit. And then you got a few people that decide they want to step up to the plate and start shit. And then you got some old school people that started shit that we fucked y'all up. And then you want to come back and try to step to the plate again. I mean, it's like, can you not see that we are many if we just stand together, you know, and stop with the fucking idiocy? But I'm gonna tell you this: I do want to know about you fake motherfuckers. I do. All you motherfuckers out there that's been exposing yourselves as fakes and fucking frauds, and all you want to do is start fucking turmoil. See, we don't have places for you in like this man here. He would have zero place for you in his clique, in his mag. And it's not because this guy's an asshole. This dude is a fucking cool motherfucker. I've been around him for years. I've I pallbeared for his mama's funeral. This man is my brother. He is a good dude, but at the same time, he believe. This is what I'm saying. We are many out here. All you got to do is come correct. Be a fucking man, or be a woman. You know, be a good human being. Be that positive fucking person that adds value to our lifestyle. Don't be the fucking negativity. Stop with the shit. Sorry about that, brother. I know you don't know what's going on because you don't hang out, but there was some people that started some shit in our, you know, in all of our chats and stuff, and you know, they're fakes and frauds, and this is what we pride ourselves on calling these people out and showing the fucking realness. You know, what do you think?
Well, the way I see it, Bubba, I grew up with firearms, 17 years of martial arts, and if I have to go hand to hand, I'm gonna have me a good time. And I ain't saying that I'm bad or anything like that, because there's always somebody better. And I'm getting too damn old because I don't heal up like I used to when I used to fight in tournaments and stuff. But I can tell you this: I'll do the best I can, and one of us is going home with an ass whooping. And if things change a little bit, one of us is going in the bag. And it's just simple as that. I mean, that's
So,
pretty blunt, but you know me well enough to know
right,
you ain't gonna sugarcoat it.
right.
I mean, but yeah, you're always gonna have trolls out there bad mouthing and trying to stir up crap because
Yep.
they feed off of drama, because they ain't
Right.
nothing more than drama queens, you know. But that's just the way it is, you know. And that's in everyday life. I mean, not only on the internet, you know. My line of work, I deal with assholes all the time.
So I want to address something, and a lot of times, man, people come in here and they have a difference of opinion, and I just want to say that we allow free speech in here.
Yes.
We don't put up with racism or talking like really, like being for real nasty shit towards a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like being for real.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But other than that, we allow free speech, and that this guy says, old fucking man basically says the only one real in my eyes is Ghost Prepper, and Ghost Prepper is a real motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you straight up, that son of a bitch is smart. God dang, he's smart. I watched for a while and nobody brings nothing to the table, which tells me a lot of baloney going on. Sure, it's fun, shits and giggles, but some of y'all paid. Okay, so I want to just address this comment and out of respect. So let me ask you a question. Um, oh fucking man. A lot of shit that gets shared on YouTube, we talk, we do these things. I'm really raising chickens out here. I really live in town. Um,
Yeah.
I really built shelters in my life. I know how to fish. I know how to hunt. I'm a good woodsman.
Mhm.
I know crafts and skills, and you know old school stuff, and you know everybody here can add value. Everybody here does add value. um One of the things that I think really makes this whole thing is that some of y'all get paid, so you're for communism. So capitalism is not okay, so I can't. If somebody wants to donate $20 to me, then I'm a sellout because I come on YouTube and I talk real, and I am real. I'm who I am. You've been to my house, bro. I've got food storage, and this is not the only
Yeah.
place that I have it. You've seen I've got a water catchment system. You
Yeah. I
know
help you with that.
exactly. See, and that's what I'm saying. I've got 330 gallons of water catchment system out here. I've got garden.
Hmm.
I've got chickens. We're really doing these things, man. We're leaving. Jewish redneck prepper, shalom, brother. How are you? And so the thing about it is that um, if the reality of YouTube, okay, for those of y'all out there that may not know, um, I've made 30 videos and I have exactly $30 in my YouTube account. You can't even collect the money until you make $100. So if I put the work in, because let me tell you something, sometimes I just turn the camera on and make a video and then put it out. But after a while, that gets boring to people, and people are like, they kind of like that little jazz and little music added and a little pop and bang, and so that shit takes work. Should I not get paid for my services? Oh fucking man. I mean, just seriously, if somebody don't like what I do, they don't have to watch. That's the cool thing
Fair
about social
enough.
media is
Yeah.
there's an X button and it's like bye. If I don't add value, why are you here? That's my point.
That's
Is if
very, very true.
Yeah, and like I said, you're welcome here, brother. You're welcome to your opinion. I'm not.
Absolutely. That's your constitutional right.
That's how come you didn't get blocked, because like Rip Curl knows me, and Rip Curl is the same way. He's one of my mods, and he knows that we allow free speech. We don't we
Yeah.
and so you're welcome to comment some more if you want to, and debate this. This is not, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm just trying to keep it real, brother. You know, um if I don't add value, why are you here, man? That's my question. And if you've already left, all right, cool, man. Thank you for stopping by. But sadly, all right. So Rip Curl says, sadly,
Yeah, I was just
lately,
fixing to say something.
yeah, on social media gone batshit crazy, and I think it's just proof of the pressure that is coming, and it's going to get worse. That's
Hmm.
that's where I think we have to rise above, and I agree with you 100%, Rip Curl. Um, he this last little drama thing that happened with some of the people that's normally on here. Rip Curl the whole time. He's been the same person he always is, and that's what I like is realness. He
Right.
gets it, dude. Let me tell you something. Rip Curl gets in my ass big time. He's got my phone number. This son bitch texts me sometimes. Is like, man, what the fuck are you doing, you dumb motherfucker? He don't really go that way, but that's my way of putting it. But
Yeah.
I can just hear Rip Curl now, because I watched him. I watch his videos and stuff, and he gets in my ass, but I
Right.
like
They
that
need to
about.
hear us in the boat. You know what?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's oh,
But if oh fucking man, if you're still here, bro, I mean, you're welcome here anytime.
yeah.
And all I'm gonna say is if I don't add value, or some of us that you watch don't add value, why are you watching? And all I'm gonna ask is that if you
Be
expect me to add
respectful.
value, if you expect me to add value, I expect you to add value in the chat and not to be disruptive. You see what I'm
Yeah.
getting at? We can trade off here. We do live streams to where we just fuck around. We just sitting there talk. And man, fucking, and this dude here, man, that just showed up, Bullfrog Swamp Homestead. That
I
son
see
of a
it.
bitch. Hey man, the only reason why they call him Bullfrog Swamp is because the son bitch went around when he was a kid, and he believed that if he kissed frogs, it would turn into a handsome prince. And as growing up as a kid, he was a little confused, and he really wanted to. He just wanted to have him a handsome prince, and so he went around kissing frogs all the time, man. Just saying. But see, we welcome him here. We don't judge, man. We love people, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is gonna be Bullfrog's gonna be like, I'm gonna drive down there and kick your fucking ass.
He's laughing.
Yeah, no,
That's
Bullfrog's
awesome.
cool as fuck, man. That's a kick ass country boy right there. He for real homesteads, man. Good dude right there, man. Dakota Hayes, NorCal, how are you? How are you? Um, so that's Rip Curl says that's right. Backwoods. Truth is, we don't always see eye to eye, and that's
Yeah.
okay as long as we act like respectful adults. Even though everything that happens, I still love and respect all my friends. Yeah, and I agree, brother. I mean, um, some of these people just want to start trouble. They're just drama people. They're troublemakers, and I want to know. And let's point these people out. Uh-oh, SGT, Sly Dog. What's up, big brother? How are you, man? And so yeah, that's the whole thing, man. Is that we got to be real, man. The shit is coming down the fucking pipeline that I'm telling you now. And here's the thing: we had talked about how everything that's going on can be covered, and even preparing your mind can be covered by a lot of things. Well, one of them is the Bible, and it
Mhm.
said that we will see things that will make men's heart fail. We will experience a time when men's hearts will fail. Okay, if you think about that in
We're
a
in that time now.
yeah, if you think about it, and look at the people who are giving up, man, who don't work, who just give into the system. Their hearts have failed, man. That's not the
Hmm.
way God built us. Um, you know, I mean, it's just a really a sad situation, man. Um, Demeter says, backwoods, I pray you have a blessed night and peace be with you and your family and everyone in the chat room 530. Demeter, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
I love you,
no
sister.
joke.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Yep. Um, what's Captain Coral saying? Hey, backwoods, FYI, Putin just announced partial mobilization. Yeah. He was supposed to sign a, apparently he was signing a nuclear war document earlier today. And in case anybody hadn't been keeping up with the news, um, backwoods got the best beer. I hear you. So thank you. So but yeah, Putin apparently from what I seen apparently is signed some like nuclear, you know, like their documents, you know, like getting ready to move forward with this shit. And dude, I think uh, if people don't think that a war's coming and that a nuke is going to hit, I'm just saying, you better prepare yourselves. Everybody
Yeah.
better fucking
Don't
prepare.
wait.
Huh?
Don't wait.
Mm-mm.
Get prepared now. That's why I said earlier, stockpile, stockpile,
Keep
stockpile,
talking.
food. I'm talking ammo, things like that, because you will need it. And have a portable filtration system with you.
Don't go soft,
That
man.
is a fact. I hear you, Rip.
I had to go piss, man. I'm getting old, man. I'm drinking some whiskey, so I, I sorry, I had to go pee, man. I had to go
Don't
take.
roll out the bow and arrow. I promise you, don't rule it out, because sometimes silence is golden.
Yes. Well, Sherry, the I really want to believe in my heart that somebody wouldn't be stupid enough to shoot a nuke off today. I mean, because the retaliation is just going to be devastating. It's going to be
Oh
bad.
God, yes,
I
yes.
mean, it's the and seeing all the nuclear capable countries have they have detectors. They know when somebody shoots a nuke
Hmm.
off immediately, and they have certain protocols. And it's like, okay, if this person attacks this person, then we're going to do this. You know, this person and
Yeah,
this person and this person attack this person. You know, country. We're going to do this, and they all have game plans, man. All these nuclear powers have game plans. You know, and they've got multiple scenarios, and you know, it's something that, you know, man, I'm telling you, people. Dakota Hayes, how's it going? How you doing, Dakota? And so you know, people just need to understand, man. This this could happen, man, because see, right now you got China's moving into the Russians, and there's actually the other day some China's moved into the Ukrainians and moved some equipment there around, and um, it's about to get like hyped up over there. A lot of the
yeah.
shit we've been seeing, you know, you know, it may be You know what I'm saying? People are trying to sell you that Russia is being whooped by a little nation that is UN backed, and Russia hadn't even begun. Dude, they're still using their shit from like the World War II and shit, and
Well,
they're
the Ukraine is using Russia's weapons against them.
yeah, but do you not
Other
see
countries will have sent in a bunch,
right? But
like the United States.
if you look at what I believe is going on is a tactical maneuver by Russia. And I think what they're doing is they're putting out all this old shit that they had, and they're doing some damage with it and stuff, and then they're getting damaged, and but they are causing Ukrainians and the UNs and stuff, they're causing them to use resources. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Yeah,
and so I think my personal opinion, I think they're just playing around. You know what I'm saying? I think they're um hey Shorty, how's it going? Um Bullfrog says at work, just wanted to pop in and support Backwoods. Thank you, brother. Thanks for keep being real. The same good dude since way back. See, me and Bullfrog's been hanging
yeah.
out for a long time, man. And
Nice to
Bullfrog is
meet you,
checking
Bullfrog.
out. Bullfrog, my brother. And I'm sorry that when y'all did y'all's trip, we couldn't meet up. You know what I'm talking about. I don't have to give out no locations. Um, it's nobody's business, but I'm sorry that we couldn't. That I was like 10 times busy at that particular time, and but there's some things coming, Bullfrog. That's going to be in towards your area. You know what I'm saying? Some meetup stuff happening. So and I'm going to be there. So stay tuned, Bullfrog. Anyway, and have a good night, brother. And but yeah, man, I think that um, Russia is just playing the game, man. I really do because they've got China backing them, man.
I
Just
think Putin's lost his freaking mind.
oh, I absolutely, but at the
I'm
same
just
time,
saying.
now, let me put this one on you, brother. My brother Bam Bam. Let me put this one on you. So, what is Russia's objective?
They're wanting the old Soviet bloc back together,
Okay. Now, let's take a little small trip in history.
which always repeats itself.
The United States done a split one time. Had one of them little things called a civil war,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So part of the United States split away from the United States, correct? You had southern states that split away from the United States, right?
Hi, princess.
Hey, Princess Buttercups, how you doing? She's been around for a minute, good sister. So the United States split, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So the fight is to control that part of the territory again. To it was about ending slavery, and it was about this, and it was
Yeah,
about
yeah. Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah.
yeah, multiple things. But the whole fact of it is no matter what nobody tries how they try to spin it, it was all about control and territory. Um, when the southern states split, um, the United States no longer had control of them, so they got them back into control. Same thing Russia's doing now. If you think
Hmm.
about it, Ukraine
Well,
was part of Russia.
see, years ago, back. I'm talking whenever Lenin was in power. Um, he was killing a bunch of his own people.
Hey, real quick, peace out, Captain Coral. Get some sleep. I'm sorry you're
Yeah,
sick. I hope you get feeling better.
yeah, that sucks.
Sleep is always really good.
It
Get,
helps.
get some rest. And Shorty, what's up? Anyway, go ahead, brother. Sorry.
I'm trying to remember what they actually called them people. The Cossacks. The Cossacks. It was
Hmm.
like around the 1900s. Um, they killed like thousands and thousands of their own people, and a lot of them went to Britain and different parts of Europe during the
Right.
1900s. I mean, Marxism has never worked. It's never worked.
Right.
And look at Russia, for instance. Their military is so jacked up. I mean, now their Spetsnaz are really good,
Hmm.
but everybody else, they don't do like our military does and teaches each soldier different jobs and how to take command of stuff. If like a person hired gets killed, they still know how to do that job.
Right.
Where there, they don't. You take out, the officers and the NCOs, you got basically a bunch of clusterfucks running around with guns,
Hmm.
you know, because everything's just so chaotic. And what's going on now with Russia and Ukraine is their morale's down because they're getting their asses kicked, you know. And now the Ukraine's handing out pamphlets saying, "Hey, you bring us your hardware or whatever, we'll make sure you get back home safe." You know, but it is what it is.
Look. Hey, hey, don't. His name is Bam Bam. Um, Bam Bam. You don't have to show yourself. Guess who's here though? That boy of mine.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Bubba?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, I think this boy, honestly, a little shorter than you, but size wise, this boy's huge, man. This boy ain't no joke. I'm just saying.
Yep. I couldn't believe how much that he has grown since the time that you and I's known each other.
Right?
You know, he went from this little scrawny, tiny kid up to a big boy now,
Oh yeah. What you weigh now, boy? 240. 250. Yeah.
Oh, gum.
Yeah, I grow big boys, big. And boys, I'm telling you, you ought to see my girls, man. You ought to see my girl here, dude. Yeah, she ain't no joke, bro. They're both of them stand just a hair taller than I do. Well,
Well, you
actually,
short anyways.
yeah, but actually, my girl, she's taller than you, ain't she? You sure?
Yeah, I'm like an inch or two taller than you now.
Well, anyway, yeah, yeah. You need to come by here, man, and stop being a fucking jackass over there. Look, Sugar
I
Britches, let
work
me
a
tell you
lot.
something, huh?
I said I work a lot.
Anyway, all right, bud.
Okay, like this.
Yeah, yeah. And
Holler at you later, brother.
he said, Bam Bam said, "I'll at you later, brother."
All right. Bye.
So, yeah, lock that other door too when you go in the house. All right, love you too, buddy. Anyway, yeah. What do you think about that, bro? Because you've seen me many times in person, so um, to have a kid that's already taller than me and you know 240, 250 mark, big boy.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe your daughter had grown up so much. I mean, since I had seen her last, and I was like, I wouldn't have recognized her, on the street. She had changed so much.
Damn it, Miss Buttercups. Hell yeah, 6'4", 300 pounds. Hell yeah, that's a young
That's
man
corn
right
fed
there,
right
boy.
there.
Huh? That's a young man right there. That's what I'm talking about, man. We grows them big, bro. That's what I'm trying to say, man. We don't play. We don't play.
Yeah.
And but back to all the stuff, man. It's people need to understand that these people are coming for us. They don't.
I know.
I mean, it's told in the Bible. It's told in history. It's told in everything. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, it's yeah. So we need to we need to just be ready, man. We need to prepare ourselves, man. Prepare your minds, people. Learn
Yep.
skills, man. Learn bartering skills. Learn
Yeah, that's true.
everybody can be important in what's coming because we can barter amongst each other and because the digital currency is coming. We ain't going to be able to stop. It's already here. I mean, you'll just
Yeah,
look at
it
your
is.
debit cards and most everybody that gets a paycheck has to do a online deposit. And so
Direct
you know
deposit.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, direct deposit, and it gets to the point of we need to be able to barter with each other and learn these skills so that we can trade out services so that we can get around this digital currency so that we can save money because the digital currency also the way it's going, brother. What I believe, Bam Bam, seriously, I believe that we're going to the social credit score, and you already kind of see instances of that by people that
Hmm.
post up on Instagram or Facebook, and it's a little controversial. People are getting laid off and fired and fined and stuff. For posting certain things. So I mean, what do you think about this social credit score and the digital currency and all that?
Well, it, I see it being just another way for them to track every transaction, keep an eye on how much money you make and everything. There will be no more private transactions unless you're trading stuff. If you're doing stuff under the table.
Good night, Sherry.
Have a good one, Miss Sherry. Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
yeah, bartering and stuff.
Yep. Which is pretty much what you said before, but
Well, but that's what I'm asking you is does it? I mean, how quickly? Because I mean, we could probably go ahead and agree that it's headed that way.
oh yeah, I figure within the next 10 years there won't be any more, you know, dollar bills and coins
You
and things like that. It's all going to be digital, everything.
you really think 10 years?
I'm giving it some leeway. I'm sure it's probably going to be sooner,
I think
but
it. I think it happens before the next presidential election.
possi- possibility, yeah.
And it's going to
I mean,
create so much chaos that they'll be able to declare the president Joe Biden be able to declare martial law and stop the elections.
that would not surprise me in the least. Would not surprise me in the least. And
Because,
what a
brother,
lot of people doesn't realize is that if martial law is called, they can shoot you on sight.
yeah, posse comitatus is gone, man.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you don't get a trial, man. You don't get they. I mean, if they
no.
tell you don't be outside and you're outside, I mean, we've already seen it, man. They actually shot at someone during the COVID lockdowns. They shot at people for coming outside. They shot at people during protest. You know, people have died. They're not fucking around.
Hmm.
You know, and that's what people need to understand out here. We actually hold the power, and we don't have to exchange one bullet. We can do this legal like. But if
Yeah.
y'all want to exchange bullets, then so be it.
I mean, all I said, just like I had said previously, just prep, 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 and read a lot.
So what would be some things that, because see, and like I said, everybody understands he's not been he don't hang out on these live chats with us, even my streams. I mean, we're like brothers. I mean, but he just don't do that a lot, and he has come in some of them and stuff and just sit around. But when people just say prep, there's a lot of that goes on. People say just prep, man, just prep. Well, how do you prep? What books would you suggest to get? What type of books? What would you say would be, if let's just say someone out there and they're starting to kind of get into this prepping thing, and they're like, man, this I'm kind of seeing, man. I mean, we did have some food shortages, and we had toilet
Hmm.
paper shortages. We had some times where we couldn't go out for 2 or 3 weeks unless it was just super necessary, and you know
Yeah.
we
A
had to
lot.
wait. We had to wait. We couldn't go to work, and then we couldn't get paid because we had to wait on the government to send us money. And well, thank
Hmm.
God they did. The Savior in Christ, the government that sent us a few dollars, you know, and bet you paid more than that in taxes for most of you. But anyway, so what would be some things that you would suggest, to how to prep, how to the things to look for, the books and stuff, what would you say?
Okay. Like I had said earlier, get you books on edible plants
Mhm.
and books that is about, plants that have medicinal purposes. Um, you know, if you haven't hunted, get with somebody and go. Seriously, go. Learn how to hunt. Learn how to hunt. Learn how to fish because a lot of people doesn't realize you're not going to be able to eat deer in the summertime because
Right.
they have wolfworms and stuff.
Yeah,
Rabbits, squirrels.
they they get a lot of ticks and fleas, and spread stuff, man.
Hmm. And so that's why they always, like deer hunting, you always hunt during the wintertime. I mean, if you think about it. Uh, but like, if you learn to fish and you're near, which you should be near water, most of your creeks and streams have fish in them.
Right.
And like if you don't have fish hooks and stuff like that, take your fishing line with you. You can make what's called a smart stick to where you sharpen each end. You put a little bitty notch right in the center of like a 1.5 inch piece of stick,
Mhm.
and you can tie your fishing line on that, and you can slide a worm on it or a grasshopper, or whatever, and you can throw that out. You can use a piece of driftwood, a tiny piece as a cork, or you could just throw it out there and let it set. I'm telling you, and the smart sticks work. The Native Americans used it for centuries, and I promise you, it works.
Well, it's sort
But
of it's almost actually kind of the way to prove how good it works. If you really look at it, the alligator hunters down in Louisiana, that's sort of what they do. Is them
all
they'll
those Native American gator hunters, yep, they were using smart sticks. Sure was, and it
yep
dang sure worked. Yep.
yep Polly and what was the other one? Polly was the son, and damn, what was the dad? Damn it,
TJ,
something like that. But
I don't
anyway, yeah.
remember. I remember that. Yeah. Now that
But
you said that, yeah, I remember that.
yeah, and
But
and
yeah,
and that come from old customs and shit.
yep.
And so it works very well. And this is the kind of stuff. This is good stuff, brother, that you're sharing online. It's it's really good for people to hear this, that it's not just us few people that are on YouTube talking this shit. It's there's real people out here that are doing this stuff, that know this stuff, that
Hmm.
practice this stuff, that you know and people need to understand the realness in it. I that's what I try to tell people. It's like, man, there's so many ways that you can gather food. You
Right.
just got to learn, man. You just got to get out
See,
there and learn.
like another thing, like if you don't see, I just read where somebody said today I ordered some binoculars and a camping cook set
Yeah,
uh,
Princess.
all for my bug out bag and grill. Oh, okay, let's say you don't have a cooking set, right? You can mix mud. You can catch a fish, you gut it, you scale it. Let's say, if it has scales, you can pack mud around it, build you a small fire, and if you don't want smoke, you can build a small hole on the side at an angle, at like a 30-degree angle. You can build a hole in the top of it. You take sticks and stuff and stick them down in the top hole. It draws air from the bottom, and you will not have any smoke, so you won't give away your position. And if I remember right, that's called a Navajo stove.
Well,
But
they've got Dakota Hole. They got a lot of different names for these smokeless deals. There's
right,
multiple ways
but
actually. Yeah, but go ahead.
you can cook your food in mud or even clay. Clay works better. And all you have to do is just break it away from it. You can wash it off a little bit. You're eating. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, you don't have to have cooking sets and stuff like that. You really don't. If
You
you
know,
have them, you're just a little bit more ahead. But you really do not need it.
brother, do you know that too hobo cooking. If you watch the hobos, the street, the homeless people and stuff, if you pay
Hmm.
attention to these people they figure out how to do shit with nothing. And
Hmm. Yep.
you can take, let's say you don't have a cooking set, and you build your fire, right? You gather a couple of extra rocks, and you gather you a green stick, off a tree, that's live and everything, and you take that can and you open it up. You can open it with your knife, the same one that you cut the tree branch with, and you take that lid, and what you do is towards the end of the stick, or depending on how, so you take and wrap that lid. That lid
Oh,
wraps actually pretty easy
around the
around
tree.
that stick, but you
Mhm.
don't cut the lid all the way off. You
Right.
leave about
Yep.
this much on there.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
on
Yep.
the can of food. You stick it over the fire. You got them extra rocks to stick it, to make it higher, and you just stick it over the fire, and you can even pull it to the side, and then you can move it over to this side, and then once you get ready to eat, you just leave it on the stick. You don't have to take it off. you
Right.
just you just choke up on the stick towards the can, and you sit there and you hold it, and you eat your food. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
these are a lot of simple ways that people can learn how to do things.
Right. Another thing too that a lot of people probably do not think about is that when you pack your like bug out bag or whatever,
Hmm.
your pack, if it rattles, tape it or tie it down. You don't want nothing to rattle. Wrap it up with cloth to where you don't make any noise whatsoever.
I'll tell you another trick. You can actually go and once again and cut you a green branch. So especially if you got pine trees, try to avoid cedars because cedar trees will put off little pricklies and stuff, and they can
Hmm.
get in your stuff, and yeah, it can be a bad deal. It's itchy and it's irritating. But if you'll do evergreen like pine trees and stuff,
Hmm.
there's a lot of pine trees all over this country, different forms and stuff, but the green stuff on it, you can actually, if you don't have cloth and you don't want to use the extra cloth, or you don't have you can take them and put them, around these things that would rattle, these green limbs and the green pine needles, and they'll
Hmm.
hold on and they'll keep your shit from rattling. And
Yeah.
people didn't think backwoods was a real fucking prepper. People didn't think backwoods was for real. Come on, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But you know, there is so many things. I mean, I learned all this stuff, as a kid from my dad. And like I'd said before, for maybe somebody that wasn't in here whenever I said it, my dad was a 2 war veteran. He was in Korea and then did 3 tours in Vietnam. He was a Green Beret,
Right?
and but he, he taught myself and all my brothers like how to fish, how to hunt, how to build booby traps, how to build shelters, how to, you know, trap, whether it be a homemade snare trap, uh, how to, different ways to collect water,
Hmm.
how to make filtration systems, um, how to build your own weapons that
Right.
actually work. And, let's say I'm just going to come up with a hypothetical scenario. Let's say you do bug out and you get to a location. That's another thing. Learn how to build booby traps. Get military manuals. They still sell them online. And you can make booby traps and set it around your perimeter. Perimeter, God, I can't even talk. But just stick them all over the place and use natural markers that look that doesn't look out of place, but where they're at because you don't want to step on your own stuff. Yep. See, that's what I'm talking about right there.
People
And
see, I'm telling you, people think I'm fucking around. I'm not kidding, man.
yep. And you know, the Vietnamese during the Vietnam War, they made just really rudimentary traps and stuff. I actually went to school for rigging. That's like tying knots and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And yep.
Military manual,
Oh,
survival.
yep. And I'm telling you, they work. But you have to use common sense too. That goes a long ways. And that's why I said silencers, yep. But knowledge is power. That's why I said read a lot. Read a whole lot. Because the more you know, the better chances you are. And study like old battle plans, because the places have changed. Yep. The places have changed, but they still use the same tactics today.
Right.
And you can figure out what your opponent is going to do, because nothing's really changed except for the way we fight, but the tactics are all the same. You
Right.
know, and so that's what I'm saying. I mean, man, there is so much stuff. My mind is just like all over the place because I've learned all this stuff. Yep.
People,
Uh,
that's what I'm telling you, man. I read through these books constantly, man, and this is
yep.
hard copies. People get hard copies of this stuff.
Yep.
Look
You
at
can
this.
even laminate your books and punch holes in them, like cut the pages out and
Right.
make you like little small folders and stuff.
I mean,
You know.
great books, man. Get books, man. People, learn these skills. Practice. If you didn't grow up doing this stuff, because I did grow up doing this stuff, but I still learn a lot from these books, man.
Right.
And
Absolutely, redneck prepper.
something you touched on a while ago. Edible wild plants. This
Yep.
is this is official U.S. Army, and remember this. People
But make
remember
sure you
this.
get for your region.
Get it for your region. Exactly, brother.
Absolutely.
Exactly. If you do not get the edible plants from your region, what happens is you can get plants that look so much like another plant in a different region. The problem with it is because of the type of climate that is in this other region, and it's
Hmm.
not exactly the same plant. It looks pretty much alike, but it can be dangerous to you. And
Hmm.
you really need to get and study these books on edible plants for your region. Make sure that you do that. It is super important that you get books for your particular region. And you know, I can also say that I've seen a lot of people, Bam Bam, that say, buy seeds, buy seeds. The same exact applies. Get your seeds, get your heirloom seeds,
The region, yes, that
but
is very
make
true.
sure you get them for your region. Um, you know, tomatoes. Let's just take tomatoes for instance. What are they? Anywhere from depending on what region you're in, anywhere from
Right.
45 to 75, 80 days. You see what I'm saying? There are regions in this country up north that you don't get 80 days to grow a plant. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
You don't get that many days to be able to grow and be able to fully mature a tomato. So you would probably want to concentrate growing tomatoes more as a household, something you can bring in the house. So you're going to want something that is movable. You're not,
Mhm.
if everything goes just right, you might can plant a few, you want to plant a few plants outside, but make sure you get the seeds that are for your region. And the second thing on that is do not plant everything at once.
Mhm.
Your tomato plants, your if you live in a region, I'm just using tomato plants a lot because it's easy to talk about. Everybody it's easy to grow a tomato. Um, it's really not that hard. The tomato plant, you know, they will fruit up, son. Let me tell you, they'll be god dang 50 freaking tomatoes on the plant. If you cut and do everything right on a tomato plant, you
Mhm.
do everything, prune and stuff properly, Man, you could have 50 freaking tomatoes, man. God dang, who can eat 50 freaking tomatoes? And you know, you got canning and stuff where you can can, but canning doesn't produce a fresh tomato off the vine, you know, to put on a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? You can make stews and salsas and you know all kinds of things with canned tomatoes. But so plant your shit. You know, maybe you got enough growing season. You can plant it outside in your garden, but don't plant all your tomatoes at once. Save your
Right.
seeds
Yep.
and wait for 40 days. Because you'll be
And tomatoes, you can take the seeds from them also, and you can put them up also, you know, and save them for later, like for the next season or whatever, you know, or year. And there is so many things. And here's another thing too that I was going to bring up earlier. Let's say you bug out and you're in a location that you feel safe.
Mhm.
Okay, not leaving a footprint to where you can be detected is a big must.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And a
sir.
lot of people does not think about things like that. You make it look as natural. If there's leaves on the ground, hey, go get more leaves and cover up what you've done,
Yep.
you know, and
Yeah.
don't go the same way every time. And
Right.
every
And
time you start to see like a little trail or a disturbance, cover it up behind you.
remember
That
this. Remember this too, everybody. You know, human beings are predictable.
they
Because
always use the path of least resistance.
you know, human beings. Well, the thing about it is that you know, like if you go and look in the woods and let's just say that you're you know going after wild game and you'll notice that there are trails. They follow a lot of the same trails and they do, you know, until they're pressured too hard and then they'll change their patterns, but they have a
Hmm.
pattern that they do. Human beings are the same way. They're easy to read if
Hmm.
you really
They
sit
sure are.
down and watch. And so you got to be unpredictable. um I had a neighbor lady across the street. She had this boy. I mean, like he used my four wheeler for the senior parade. I mean, good people, great friends of ours, my wife, you know, and friends with her and stuff. And, you know, I watched over her. I mean, she was right across the street from me. She, you know, they were good people, you know, my wife and I, you know, and I told her one time, I said, every time you come outside to smoke your cigarette, you turn the porch light off. She goes, yeah, I just don't want people looking at me. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But do you understand how easy it is to predict that you're outside now and you got the lights out? If somebody is wanting to do dirt against you and they're watching your house, they're going to learn that and they're going to go, okay, the lights are out. I can sneak up on this motherfucker and knock him in the head. And she
Right.
looked at me real funny and she goes, man, I never thought about that. And I was
Of
like,
course
don't
it
be
is.
predictable, you know, don't be predictable. Don't, you know, understand people. Princess Buttercups, I watch Roots and Refuge. Um, yeah, she's cool as hell. She actually used to live not too far from me. Roots did, and Roots and Refuge. Um, yeah, and they moved obviously, and boy, they got a sweet ass place now. God dang, but they moved out of state and kind of. I was kind of like, damn it, you know, because we want you here, you know. But anyway, yeah, and so you know, I told her, and that comes to the bug out thing of what you're talking about, brother. Is don't be
Mhm.
predictable, you know. Don't let it be easy for someone to find you and discover you and
Right.
you
I
know, did
mean, there.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Bubba.
No, you go ahead, man.
Um, Going back to that whole footprint thing, and like he said, human behavior, they're always going to take the path of least resistance. But that whole footprint thing too, if you're going the same way every time, you're going to beat it down to where people can just say, "Well, I know they're going this way." That's why I said cover it up and make it look like basically a game trail, because you can tell where people's walked. And you know, silence. Anytime you move away from your shelter, and I can tell you, if I'm going to build a shelter out in a place that I feel secure in, it's going to be underground. In other words, it's going to have a very short roof on it, and there's just going to be enough gap to where, one, I've got hard cover, and two, I can defend myself. And my six is going to be at the edge of a rock base or something. I'm going to have hard cover on my six too.
Right.
And a lot of people doesn't think about things like that, and you really want to reinforce your shelter. I mean, there is so many different scenarios that there's no way that I could ever cover them in one live stream.
Right.
Seriously. But
Well, you're welcome anytime, man. If you wanna start hanging out with us a little bit on these live streams, bro. I mean, I'm telling you, you'll love these other guys, man. They're homesteaders and they're preppers and they're like us, man. Tribe, he 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 listens to some rap, and he listens to some um uh some classical. He listens to multiple music and loves that
mhm,
stuff, and he actually makes his own music. Well, with the keyboard. I don't know how he does it there with the electronic shit. I don't know. Anyway, he comes up with his own music and beats and stuff and puts this shit together,
right,
and it does an awesome job. But you know something about Tribe? That motherfucker is a fisherman to the core, son. He loves to fucking fish, and he is good at it. His wife's better, man. Nisi kicks his ass all the time. But Tribe, man, he he's a fisherman, dude, and dude, you ought to see the fishing gear. Dude, it would take both of our fishing gear to start to um compare to like an eighth of his fishing gear. Like straight up, dude. This motherfucker built,
yeah,
dude. He built a fishing sink, it out of a 5 gallon buckets, dude. Motherfucker sharp as fuck. You know what I'm saying? That man, dude, you ought
yeah.
to come on. You ought to come on some live streams with us, man. We have a good time, man. We talk shit. We fuck with each other. We talk real shit. You ought to come on.
Yeah, I think I will start coming in because, you know, I hate just listening. You know what I mean, to like podcasts and stuff like that. I'm not really into it. My boys are really into it,
Right?
but when you're a part of it, it's a blast.
It is.
And if you can help people, like give them knowledge to help them, help their families, you know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you know as well as I do, I'm all about family, just like I know you are too,
Yep.
you know. And but giving somebody knowledge, if I had the means to actually just go out and make some videos of like building shelters, which there's a million of them on YouTube, but doing it tactically.
Hmm.
I have seen some like really good ones, but which I thought that's a good idea, but he has no hard cover,
Right.
but he's doing it more of not in a combat type scenario to where,
It's more of just a survival for the night.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
So, you know, I would love to get out and do something like that and just build one. It might take you 3 days to build it.
Right.
But you know, you always want to build it close to a water source where you know there's food, and you can, like, during the spring and summer, you know, you can gather up like seasonings like wild sage, wild rosemary, you know, thyme,
Hmm.
uh, wild onions. I mean, like, and you can store them. You can actually dry them in the sun, which gives them a longer life. You know what I mean? For
Right.
you to use throughout the winter months and stuff. Because I promise you, during the summer months, you're gonna get tired of eating fish.
Right.
You're gonna get tired of it.
Well, and people's got to understand that there are certain things that you can actually do, because just look at Texas, down south Texas. You know, people kill
Mm-hmm.
deer and it's 100 degrees outside. You know, and they do eat the deer and stuff. But there's certain things that you got to do to it. You know, freezing
Absolutely.
and salting and stuff like you mentioned
Right.
earlier
Yep.
about the salt. You know, the salt
Yep.
is very important.
Yep.
Things like that that you can do. You know, a lot of the people on here are like from where we are up this away, you know, um, northeast and stuff. You know, we have some from the west and stuff like that, but a lot of people from the northeast of us, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, the we have enough cold and stuff, especially the farther north you go, to
Mm-hmm.
be able to eat deer or wild game during the summer, but there's
Mm-hmm.
certain things that you have to do to it. You know, like I said, the
Oh
salt.
yeah. Right. Yep. Yep. And we got a lot of natural springs here. Where in our region that's really cold, so you can actually store food and stuff like that too. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like meat and stuff. Of course, I mean, there are so many things. My God, there is so much knowledge to be learnt. So much knowledge. And that's why I said read, 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 read. You know. And like I had said before, do gun drills. I'm telling you, it will help you.
Mhm.
I promise you. I've ran gun drills with my wife, my kids, and
Yeah, my
I,
my kids, I've run drills with my kids in the house, um,
mm-hmm,
and what we have done was like coming around a corner, you know, and pine an area.
mm-hmm,
We have discussed about how to take a gun away from someone. You know, we have practiced that. You know, someone coming around the corner, and how to, you know, because I've told my kids, I'm like, look, if you don't try to do something immediately and catch them off guard, you know, if
mm-hmm,
you don't have a weapon, you're shot. I mean, they're going to shoot
mm-hmm.
you. You know, so
Yeah,
you got to fight now. You got to make that decision now. You know, I
yeah,
see that barrel. I'm fucking. I'm grabbing, snatching. I'm using my other hand to push away from the person, and
right.
I'm coming
Creating
back with
distance.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm coming back with an elbow because I'm gonna disrupt this person, and they're like this because they're not expecting it, and then I'm coming back with an elbow right here, you know, or right
Mm-hmm,
here, you know, if you can get. And I said, you know, but don't let go of the gun with this hand, you know, and we have practiced these drills, and I said the gun may be hot because maybe they're shooting, you know, and it's going to burn your hands. It's going to hurt and it's going to sting like hell. But I can promise you, we can fix your hand. We
you'll
can
be
fix the
alive.
part, but at least you're alive, you know. And
That's right.
we went over these deep details, you know, of what could happen, you know. I said, don't
No,
just sit in the corner and be a fish in the barrel for them to shoot at.
right. Redneck prepper. I'm WC Arkansas. Okay, well that's
West
pretty
Central
awesome.
Arkansas. Yeah, Redneck
Yeah,
Prepper. Yeah, Redneck Prepper been around a minute.
he's not far from me then.
Well, he's not really far from me either. I mean, I'm not that far from you.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Well, I
moved
can
a
tell
little
you.
further away with your sorry ass moving over there. You could have
Well,
moved over here.
well, this wasn't in the cards,
I know, but
but I got a nice home, so I can't complain.
oh, I know you do. You got a nice place, man. So what would what we do on these live streams is about the 2 hour mark we kill it, and the reason why is because somebody later that'll go and watch this, because there'll be other people that'll come and watch this live stream, later, and
Hmm.
oh, about an hour and a half, you really lose a lot of people.
Right.
And analytic wise, if you've got a really good conversation going on, they'll watch all 2 hours of it. Um, so we usually kill it in two. And Norman, okay, I see you, redneck. Um,
Yep. I noticed that
so
too.
we've been at an hour and 55 minutes, hour and
Yeah.
56 minutes. So we got about 4 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this, everybody, in 4 minutes. What would be some things if basically, because I know it's almost a repeat process, but to get a little more clear, to get a little more down and to the nitty gritty, if you had one piece of advice that you could tell people and it don't have to be a short quick answer. I mean, it because there's multiple things in this advice, but I mean, what would be what you would think would be your best option going forward from right now?
Boy, that's a tough one. Um, I would definitely say if, like I've said before, having having a plan B or a fallback position in your perimeter. If let's say people's wanting food and all this stuff, and they're doing crazy stuff like that, always have a fallback position and someplace that, one, your six is covered, and two, they can't flank you easily. And hard cover, I cannot emphasize that enough, because if they're using an AR, that's basically just a supercharged 22 round. It's a super magnum is what it is.
Right.
And or like if they're using a 7.62 or something like that, you definitely want hard cover, because I promise you, either one's going to get the job done. And don't expose yourself at all. And
Expose what? No, I'm Biden. We don't get exposed. What? Did Hunter fuck up again? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, but you know, I would say, like, build up covered shooting lanes for yourself in
Right.
your fallback position, and then put hard cover over the top. You can do this in your backyard. You can do it, like I live on a ridge, and I've got caves and stuff, and I got shooting lanes and stuff already. I mean, naturally, I don't really have to do anything,
Right.
because I got cover overhead. Each flank is covered with hard cover.
Hmm.
Just building the front of it up.
Right. Yeah, and this we can pretty much end it on this one. Run through all the scenarios in your head and think about how you will react. That's what being prepared is all about, and that's absolutely true. We need to. That's why I talk about having when you prepare your mind properly,
Hmm.
things will fall into place. And
Uh,
that's go ahead.
Let me just say this. You remember that incident that I had to where I had to use 12 gauge?
Right,
Okay. Um, I knew that I would react a certain way because when I was with the police, um, I had to react on somebody, and it didn't turn out good. But one thing that I can say is that I had an incident at my old place. I'm not going to go into details, but
look, we look. This person is really from Serbia. Serbian, man. Serbian prepper. What's up, my brother?
what's up, Serbian?
People from all around the world, man. I'm telling you, man. People are, dude, telling you, we got to keep
Yeah.
talking back here. But go ahead with in and you had
Well,
to
like, yeah, I had a person breach my perimeter, and well, this needless to say, they waited 2 weeks to go to a hospital. There was a police report made, um, but they got to see what turkey load feels like.
right,
So I know I won't hesitate. I know my wife won't hesitate, and I'm pretty sure my kids won't. So I mean, that's the decision that you have to make, is having to do something towards another human being
right,
that you have to get it in your head and not look past, oh my god, I'm going to have to shoot somebody. That's
right,
just something that you have to be prepared to live with for the rest of your life.
right,
And you have to get right in your head, because it's not an easy decision to make. I mean, point blank, you know but person with the turkey load did live. They just was kind of messed up. But
Well, and I think you touched on something really important is that if you carry a weapon on a daily basis, um, you really need to be prepared for what may happen. You need to really train with it. I
yep,
some of this stuff, these gun laws and shit, man, I'm like, what the hell, dude? But we
yeah,
gotta have some restrictions, man. I mean, I am a
I
two
agree.
I am a 2A all the way person, but I'm not talking about necessarily laws. I'm talking about for real being for real and saying, I've got a responsibility with this firearm in my hand, and I really think that, someone should be proficient. Someone should know what they're
Hmm.
doing. Because guess what? My wife and my children go to Walmart. My wife and my children go to McDonald's and to you know to out in public. And if someone is out there with a weapon and they're just just start fucking shooting, and you got to train for that moment in your head and
Hmm.
understand that when I shoot at this person, there may be somebody behind them. What if it's a
That's
woman?
absolutely right.
What if it's a woman with a year and a half old baby in her hands,
Yep.
and you miss the target because you're not even paying attention. You're all excited and you freak out and you start just squeezing rounds and you hit that baby or you hit that woman or you hit both. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You're responsible for that and you've got to live with that afterwards. You
Yep.
know, and that's the key to training. Train with your weapon. Be ready for these things.
Train with your heart rate up.
Yes.
Train with your heart rate up, because you'll be all over the place, but in time you'll build up muscle memory, and you'll be on target even though your adrenaline's pumping, and
And
but it's also shooting stance. Police teach you to hold your hands out straight. It's called what? The Weaver stance, if I remember right. And
yeah, yeah, something
and
like
the military teaches you not to shoot like that. They teach you to hold your arms in and stabilize them on your chest and belly, and then just keep it aimed forward. And then anytime you go to look at something, don't turn your head, turn your whole torso. That way
right.
you're always on target every time. If you have to react to a situation that's going to be a shooting, but get your heart rate up, train like that,
And
build that up,
how you get your heart rate up.
just
I'm gonna tell you
run.
that I'm gonna tell you what happened in the training that I got. We had to run first, and then when we got back, they brought one at a time to the target range. The rest of the people had to, whatever weapon you had, obviously you got to make sure it's secured when you get back from running.
Hmm. Hmm.
Your instructor secures your weapon for you, and then if it's a rifle or even a pistol, you got to run around with your hands above your head. You got to run around in circles the whole time
Hmm.
until they call your name, and it's a son of a
Hmm.
bitch, man. And you're sitting there
Yeah.
running around in circles, and then they called my name. I went over to the range. I've done this multiple times, man. It's some vigorous training, and then you got to run because when they call your name, they put you on a clock, and you got to run, and they give you a certain
Hmm.
amount of time, and you run over there. And here's the thing: your magazines, they expect you to have a rifle and a sidearm, and
Right.
so you when you run over there, you've got to have your bullets, your projectiles,
Hmm.
your freedom seeds. You got to have them in your pocket, 10 rounds each. Then
Hmm.
you got to run over there, and you have your mags, also. And so you run over there, you put your mags on the table, you pull your shit out of the pocket, stick it on the table, and then you got to load each magazine. And the whole time that this is going on, this guy's screaming and blowing an air horn at you. Brr,
It's
brr, brr.
going mass.
And he
That's
and he
mass chaos.
Yeah, he's just screaming like hell at you. You got
Yeah.
35 seconds, you're 40 seconds, come on, damn it, and just screaming
Right.
at you. And he's slapping the table. And dude, and I'm sitting there and I'm dropping bullets and shit. And I'm like, God dang, man, this sumbitch, the first time, man, it freaked me out, dude. I ain't gonna lie, dude. And
Right.
then once I finally got everything loaded, he's screaming at me and shit and blowing this air horn. And he's like, "Are you ready? Finally, what the hell, And I'm like, "Yes, sir, I'm ready." And
Hmm.
dude, so I took off, and so they've got a target that's a certain distance, and you got to start shooting at the target with your rifle, and you got to start moving towards the target. Then once you get to a certain distance, because they score you on all this shit, once you get to a certain distance, then you got to pull your sidearm once you get close enough, and you start shooting your sidearm. And if you empty your rifle before that certain distance, guess what? You just got points deducted. But the whole time that you're shooting, the guy's still blowing the air horn. He's still screaming at you. And with the other hand, the motherfucker had a stick, and he's sitting there slapping you in the side of the head and slapping you on the hands and shit, and
Hmm.
slapping your gun and trying to make your gun jam. He's poking the stick into the action and shit. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's intense as hell. But
Well, if you think about like a combat situation or something like that, um, you're going to have mass chaos. Your
right,
adrenaline's going to be high, and you're not going to be exactly on target. And so the military even teaches you about this, to where you train yourself basically to stay focused on what you're trying to get done, and then like send rounds to like take out targets and stuff like that, But then again, like you say, he's jamming a stick and all this here stuff. It's just mass chaos, and they're trying to take your mind off of what you are doing.
Right.
And
Well, and real quick, what Serbian's saying is what I was talking about earlier. I know you weren't here, Serbian. Yeah, Putin is he's bucking up. China, I'm telling you, China is involved, and they are over there. There is we just had Joe Biden come out not too long ago, in an interview. I mean, it just a couple of days ago, and they asked him, would we defend Taiwan? And you know what he said? Absolutely, that's our standard protocol. We will defend Taiwan. That means going to war with China, bro. And the White House tried to backtrack and was like, no, that's not what we're going to actually do. He just so there's that just goes to show there's other powers in charge. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
yeah,
hey, I'm gonna kill this live stream, everybody. Thank y'all for showing up and hanging out with us. And
it was nice meeting all of y'all too.
yeah, and like I said, we'll I'm gonna try to talk him into coming on with us more, coming hanging out with some of the fellas, and just what I'm saying when we do these live streams, and talk about real talk, man. And
Hmm.
thank y'all, everybody. Peace out. Remember, when you prepare your mind properly, things will fall into place. Backwoods and Bam Bam out.